Greetings, fellow members of the first cohort. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Icarus. Episode 4, Regaining Contact with Orbital Headquarters. I'm not going to worry about the blueprints just yet, but in terms of the level points, I want to, let's do faster reload. And then down here, get increased critical hit multiplier on bows. So I hit harder. And then the solo tree, minor rewards. Because, you know, that's going to help this whole me get ore thing. I'm intentionally leaving the gold alone and copper alone. The primary method of copper and gold, copper nails are a requirement for some buildings. But gold is mostly for electronics. Mostly. Which comes later on. And then most of your copper is going to become electronics too, like wiring for electronics. So copper and gold are going to be needed in massive quantities later on. And there are ways to increase the yield that you mine with like better tools. So I'm leaving it alone on purpose, because if I leave it alone now, when I come back to get it later, I can get more of it with better tools. And like enchantments on my tools, functionally speaking. So I'm leaving it alone because it's strategic that way. I probably have enough iron now to make the anvil. I think it's a 3-to-1 ratio of ore to ingots. But yeah, you can see the cave really goes... There's a lot of resources in a tier 2 cave. So, there's a lot of stuff I've yet to harvest here. But let's get back and start smelting this stuff. Because if I can get an iron pick, it's going to be a lot more efficient at, a lot more efficient at mining with higher yields than a stone one. Oh, you had 2 babies. I'm gonna name your babies Romulus and Remus. They're not, well, I should only name wolves that. Never mind. This is chocolate. If you like hot chocolate. You want to see carnivorous horses raised by wolves? Home sweet hovel. Alright, let's stick the iron in and get it smelted in ingots. So while I work on that, let's build an herbalism bench, because like I'm not doing anything else. I'm like waiting for smeltings, which is not a productive use of my time to stand around. And I like to spend my time productively. So, herbalism bench requires... One of the things I wish they would add is like a pin, so I could pin recipes. Wood and fiber. I have fiber on my tailoring, but not a lot of it, so I need both wood and fiber. Oh, Jesus. Tree fall damage is like... not instantly fatal, but like... not fun to have it land on your head. All right, that should be enough for the bench. Sir Cardinal, thank you for the resub. I hope you also had a fantastic Christmas. Another thing which would be good for me to work towards is Immortal and Pestle. That's going to be very required. Herbalism bench I'll put over here. I'm not likely to use it a ton. The reason I unlocked it is this. Actually, I should unlock the recipe I wanted from it, which is the Health Recovery Tonic. Basically, healing potion, which is tree sap, which you can easily make on the Mortar and Pestle, yeast, flour, and lily. So if I want flour, we go over to the Mortar and Pestle and unlock flour. And at some point, I'll like batch up some healing items because they are pretty vital in staying alive. So we got 18 of the 40 ingots we need for the anvil, and the other thing we need for the anvil is stone. So I guess I'll get the stone now. That's pretty easy. And then we're going to want some silica in order to get the mortar and pestle as well. And I know that there's actually a silica node in my foundation, so I'll remove the foundation, mine up the silica node, and then put the foundation back. Should be enough stone for now. Get off my lawn! There's actually a talent point called get off my lawn in the farming tree, which I find hilarious. It's like allows you to have like a single shot pistol in the farming tree. Where is it? Yeah, get off my lawn. Grants the recipe to make a rusty shotgun. It's hilarious. Literally a get off my lawn ability. Alright, the silica should be here. Once the stone from the foundation goes away. Yeah, there it is. I'm not going to bother with the rest of it, because silica's not rare enough for me to, like, destroy my bed to get. But that allows me to make the mortar and pestle, which we'll be using a bajillion times over. So the mortar and pestle allows you to process materials. I'm actually going to put it on the crafting bench, because might as well not have it on the floor. And that allows us to crush... Oh, this is not sheltered? Oh, shut up, game. It's seriously... You This won't be a problem once I, like, upgrade the base to, like, stone. It won't complain about that. Yes, you're sheltered now. Alright, so crushing bone into crushed bone to then make it into epoxy. And then we can turn tree wood into sap. So we just queued up a ton of material processing on this thing. Alright, we are 2 iron ingots away from being able to make our anvil. Oh, and I just used all the wood that I needed for the anvil, so let's go get a little bit more wood. Can you make more than one mortar? You can. I generally don't, unless I'm doing mortars for different things. So sometimes... Whoa, Jesus, don't land on me. Sometimes I'll have a mortar for cooking, flour, and then a mortar for, like, bone and epoxy, and keep them separate. It really depends on the amount of that task I'm doing. So in my case, like, keeping them combined is fine, because I queued up a ton of... Jesus, stop it. I queued up a ton of stuff on that, but that's because it was the first time I had the mortar and pestle, and typically I won't have that much work to be done at one time. I'm keeping my meat consumption up because it gives me an XP bonus. Not because I need the extra HP or anything like that. Alright. Here we go. Anvil time. So the anvil is how you make metal tools. And the first one I want to make is the bow. I also should probably get a water skin. So let's get leather. And some bone. Oh, I opened the door and it became unsheltered. Shh, game, I hate you. But that's good, because I had queued up all my bone to be processed, and I don't want it processed now, because I want a water skin. So, blessing in disguise. So the water skin, eventually I plan on having a suit allow for water skins, internal water skins. But for now, I'm just going to have a water skin, you know, on me. Let's put the anvil here. So this anvil allows us to make a longbow, and we need a little bit more leather for that, but I have leather over here. And this is just higher stats. And then also I have the durable skill now, so the bow itself is tankier. And I'm just straight up going to destroy my old bow. I don't need it. So there we go. We've got a longbow now. And then the next thing I want to do is the iron pickaxe and iron knife. So iron pickaxe. Oops, only one, please. And then for the iron knife, I need 2 nails. So we'll make 10 out of 1 ingot. And make an iron knife. There we go. We got a longbow, an iron knife, and an iron pickaxe. I think I'm not going to bother with any of the other iron tools. I don't think I'm going to need them. We can maybe get the steel versions and skip over the iron versions. There is maybe a reason for me to get a cooking station, though. So I'm going to unlock that blueprint. Because the cooking station is required for me to make my favorite illumination source. So the next things that I want to do, I'm going to put the iron on the anvil, and then put all my other resources away. So we can get a contact device, allowing us to take missions. And contact devices need to be built outside, but they do not take storm damage. Generally, if things need to be built outside, they are stormproof. It's worth noting. There's our contact device. And then the orbital exchange interface requires copper ingots, which I haven't mined up yet, but we can get that. Oh, and leveled up again. So talents. Over to the combat tree, we'll get soft spot tier 2. And then for the tech tree, I am not certain there's anything I want immediately in the tech tree. I'm going to double check. But no, I don't think there's anything I want right now. I don't want to be doing ranching or farming just yet, because there's not a whole lot of reason to. So yeah, I'm good. Alright, let's make a whole lot of epoxy out of the bones, because the epoxy is a required material for a lot of stuff. And, oh no, there is actually one thing I wanted to do. Where is the, yeah, there's one item I want, which is the lantern. The fat lantern. Is that unlocked later on? I forget where that's unlocked. I'm like blind to it. Because there's just so much to unlock. Because I don't think it's something that you machine. You get it pretty early on. Not the biofuel, the fat one. Where is it? This needs a search. There is no search bar for this, no. There's a search bar for, like, crafting. Do I already have the blueprints for it, maybe? No. There is a search bar for the tech tree? Oh yeah, yeah. Lantern. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, requires level 15. Okay, that's fine. I'm level 13. We'll get it sooner or later. Alright, so in that case, let's set up our contact device outside. And maybe it makes sense to have some sort of patio out here. So I'm going to get rid of the dirt ramps and shovel up some more dirt to build like an outside balcony area. And I'll make it the width of the home. What do you want me to do next? Do you want me to continue teching up? Oh, actually, hold on. There is one thing I wanted to add for this. There it is. Undertake a contract. Now that we'll have a contact device in just a second. So there's the contact device, which allows me to talk to HQ.
Great work. Now that you have access to short-range radio, you'll be able to take on simple missions. If you want to take on more complex assignments, you'll have to craft an infrasonic relay device. Oh, almost forgot. Cinetai have come up with a fancy new way of shipping your exotic hauls off-world. They're calling it the Orbital Exchange System, OES. Abandoning all your planet-side tech is a thing of the past, if you prefer. Chuck them in the pod, and it drops it all off at the station. OES schematics should be available, if you want to build one. Good luck, Prospector.
So these are the types of missions available. I am not doing any of the DLC stuff, so I don't have any campaigns, which would be hunts. Simple quests are hunting some local stuff, or searching an abandoned base, and they give you a little bit of currency. And then there are the operations, which I'm not going to undertake right now, because the operations generally are a bit too hard until you're like a slightly higher level. They're like too labor intensive to do until you're, you know, a little bit more capable. Oh, we got a storm coming. Oh, a pretty bad one. This is a tier 4 or 5 storm, so this is gonna not be fun. But yeah, all right. There you have it. One more minute to vote in this poll, but it looks like improving the base seems to be the popular choice, and in that case, I want to get the cooking station, which requires me to get some sticks. Really? I don't have sticks? I guess I use them all, making tree sap. That's a funny thing to be out of, because they're, like, frickin' everywhere. Hey, trespasser. Piss off. Ooh, that bow hit harder because of my longbow upgrade, and this baby deer is confused. It's falling around a Tyrannus. I don't know why. And then my knife will be higher yield for harvesting. Oh, I'm about to get hypothermic. Storms drop the ambient temperature a bit. Okay, cooking station. So the reason for the cooking station is that allows me to make some more complex meals. And we'll take a look at the complex meals. But the current priority right now is improve the base. And the best way I can improve the base is to get as many of, like, the stations I'm going to want. And then probably tech up to level up to level 15 so I can get access to stone and replacing my base from wood to stone so it doesn't blow down in every storm. Maybe what I'll do is replace one of my meat slots. So I have bacon and gamey meat, and maybe I'll do creamed corn as my third food. I like that. I live next to a cornfield, so, like, that should be pretty easy to manage. But I'm not going outside right now, because, it frickin' sucks out there. And the bad thunderstorm's about to kick off, so I'm gonna hunker for a minute. I could also work on getting lilies and yeast for the health recovery tonic. Let's go ahead and put the some of the tree sap into the herbalism station so that I have it available for when I have the materials. And if you're really wondering how bad this storm gets, I can be out here for it. I just hope I don't get hit by lightning, but, like, there's a chance I will. That's why you usually beeline for stone buildings? Yeah, that's why pretty much everyone does. Lightning storms are vicious. So if you're wondering about storm damage, I'm cold and rain exposure. Might get hit by lightning, but this is for, like, educational purposes. This is not the kind of weather you want to be outside for. And now that I'm fully storm exposed, I suffer massive debuffs. And it's like hurting me is bad. It's bad. It is real bad. And this is why you need to seek shelter in the case of storms, because especially in, like, the desert or the Arctic, it can straight up kill you pretty quick. And it's ripping holes in the base. It's doing some damage here. And 2 of those storms would probably destroy my base. Or at least do enough damage that I would start missing sections of it. Oh, there's still a stone here blocking me. Yeah, I'll have to move my bed. I don't want to be tripping over an invisible hitbox. Does repairing things cost material? No, but it will wear out your repair tool. And then when your repair tool breaks, repairing your repair tool costs material. But, like, in my case, it costs 1 wood to repair my hammer, because it's the lowest tier tool, so it's not expensive. Oh, it even damaged the... Oh, that's because I picked it. Hey, Silica. Get out my way. I'll probably leave that section exposed for whenever I want to get stone, and eventually I'll wear that out. I just don't want to, like, overmine it right now, because I have better things to do now that it's not stormy. I'll just put it back for now, but I can remove it when necessary. Okie dokie. So now that that's done, topping up my oxygen, I'm down to having no more stringy meat. So let's go grab some of that corn I spotted and make cream corn. Cream corn requires me to have a water skin, but I have one. So there was corn right over here. Oh, and here's yeast for the healing items. So I'll get, might as well get some yeast too. And yeah, you can make yeast. It's not like actually yeast, it's plants that are rich in yeast, as the game explains. So it's not like I grow yeast in a farm plot, it's just high yeast yield plants. Even though they look like poppies. So the corn was, yeah, here it is. That should be plenty. Sorry, babies. I think there's an achievement for killing a bunch of baby animals called, like, Heartless or something. I forget what it's called. Oh, and these are the lilies, the other part of the whole healing thing. So I can get lilies, too. It might be good to have at least a lily seed and a wheat... I already have a lot of wheat seeds. A yeast seed, so if I want to start growing the reagents to be able to heal myself, I can at some point. But I also needed flour for it, so I'm getting some wheat here for the flour. So I'm improving my base, but I'm also, like, I'm also making sure that I have healing items and food items. So the cream corn doesn't carry a XP bonus. I think that's one of the disadvantages of it, but I just don't have a prime meat to replace it. So 10 cream corn. And then the rest of that will become seeds. Corn seeds. I need 2 lilies to make a lily seed, so we'll make 1 lily seed. And then I need, how much yeast to make a yeast seed? 2? There. And the rest of this stuff, oops, can go in there for health recovery tonic. Granted, I don't have a lot of lilies, so I'll only be able to make the 1. And then the rest of my wheat will be ground up into flour for health recovery tonic reasons. There was also a basic bread item that you can make, flatbread. That is a that is like a herbalism thing, flatbread dough. I'm not gonna bother with that because I don't need flatbread dough for the as a food source. It's a good stamina food source, but it's not one I need. All right. I should be getting to sleep for some bonuses. But I wanted to make my tonic first. So only have enough for 1, but still, that's 250 health. To put that in perspective, I have about 525. So it heals me almost 50%. Which is pretty good for a little bit of flour, lily flour and ground flour. And that could definitely come in clutch. You know, if I'm dying and need to heal or whatever. Alright, cream corn. So the cream corn used up all the water in my flask. But there we go. another food source, and let's go top up our water flask and water. Awesome. Here's that healing potion. I'll just keep it in my inventory. Wait, how did I'm still thirsty? There we go. All right. At this point, I want to grind to level 15 to upgrade the base to stone. I think you have, now that you've seen a few storms, you see how annoying it is to just like constantly get storm damage. So, let's, I'm not going to say stormproof because that would be an exaggeration. Stone tier stuff still takes storm damage. It just takes less storm damage. It would be able to resist a whole lot of storms. So I want to go on a killing spree so that I can get better storm resistance. Why is there only baby animals? I am in an easy biome. Which is why there's baby animals. I'm not even going to bother harvesting it. I'm just killing it for the experience. Yo, predators! Where? There you are. Ah, gamey meat. So we have a, or string meat. We have another prime meat source that will replace my cream corn. Huh, that cream corn didn't last very long. The other thing I could do while I'm out and about, is head towards mining spots. Now that I have an iron pick, that might make sense. In the tier 2 tree, some of the major benches I've yet to get is the ranching one, the fishing one, which I won't be doing. Wood wall fortifications are actually very, very, very strong, especially for questing. The carpentry and the masonry. Carpentry gives you interior wood stuff, mostly for coziness. And then the masonry gives you the stone walls and stone building sets, which is for durability. At level 15, I'll also get leather armor, which is really nice. I'll be able to make steel at level 20. Lanterns at level 15. So level 15 opens up a whole lot of stuff for me, which is hence the purpose of the grind. And I just hit 14. Talent points. I want to get the supply and demand. So I need to level up my bows a little bit more. So let's do increased arrow damage. And now I can get hindering shot that leads to supply and demand. And then for solo, I'm going to get another point of miner rewards. So we're getting even more material from mining, which is, trust me, important. Hopefully I won't be sleeping on a, or eating without a table. The thing is, the, most of the carpentry in the game is a mix of, refined wood, which is just like wood that you plank, essentially, and, copper nails. But copper is such a needed material in tier 3 and beyond that I generally don't waste a whole lot of it to get furniture. I could if you vote for it, though. Oh, that shot was way off. Hi, Wolfie. Stop jumping. Ooh, right in the head. Quit moving so much. Thankfully, making bone arrows gives experience, so like, even though I'm missing a ton, like, I get experience for making the arrows back, so it's not a big deal. Plus, I'm firing bone arrows. So I'm hunting for the experience, getting a whole lot of bone as a result. Kiwi nest. So it doesn't really matter if I'm wasting a whole bunch of arrows, because I'm hunting like crazy for the experience to begin with. Alright, let's keep moving. Oh, okay. Guess you wanted to die real bad. Yeah, these animals, man, they're just not very smart. And we're halfway to 15 already. Leveling up this game is not a big deal. In other words. Sounded like a wolf. Oh, it was. So that wolf was attracted to that hare I left unbutchered. This is something I mentioned before, which is unskinned animals attract predators. So I had mentioned sometimes it's smart to like kill a rabbit and leave it around your home to attract like wolves or other things. And that rabbit just attracted the wolf that I killed, so it worked. Oh, in the antlers. You get to survive today. Alright, it's becoming... No, it's just cloudy. It's 9 a.m. So we're heading back to that mining cave, and we're going to grab some copper this time, so I can get the orbital device, plus, you know, other things unlocked by copper. Getting pretty close to level 15, too, which is great. Oh, I don't have a torch. Mine burned out. Okay, before I go in there, obviously I'm going to want a light source. So if you use a scythe on bushes, you don't get sticks. So if you want sticks, because right now I don't have sticks. If you want sticks, you have to make sure not to scythe the bushes. But generally when I'm trying for sticks, I aim to get the saplings, because the regular bushes are a lot more fiber than sticks. So, if you need specifically sticks, you're best off just grabbing saplings, in my opinion. Or otherwise, you might have like an entire inventory full of fiber and almost no sticks. Thank you for tuning in to Icarus, which originally streamed live on Twitch as a marathon. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. But please keep in mind that this series was streamed as a marathon, so feedback cannot be incorporated. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits, and all the live viewers that turned out for the marathon. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow prospectors.